What's up, you guys? It's Steve here. Hope that you and the family are having a blessed St. Patty's Day and wearing the green, but I got an update for you, and that is stimulus is flipping again. We're hearing that it is now being brought back to the forefront of discussions in Congress, and we're hearing about stimulus checks, stimulus packages, and reviving Build Back Better. And this is your Build Back Better stimulus package and stimulus check update. Now, for those of you that follow me here on the channel, you know the past couple days there has been a lot of talks about stimulus checks. Lawmakers, members of Congress, they've actually been providing plans to release quarterly stimulus checks. We've been hearing economists saying that that's not good enough. We actually need monthly recurring stimulus checks, and a lot of people are calling for this. And I know a lot of people here on the channel have told me, yes, this is still needed, especially with the increased gas prices and inflation that is hitting. Now, in addition to that, we're also hearing that Build Back Better is coming to the forefront. And take a look at this, you guys. Here's the scoop. Inside Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin's secret Italian dinner. That is right. So apparently, in an effort to get Joe Manchin on board with passing more stimulus provisions, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer treated him to a private Italian dinner to discuss stimulus and stimulus packages. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. Now, we don't have a whole lot of details yet, but I'm going to be sharing with you what we do know. And as you know, right now, this is probably going to be the only way, because we've heard that Republicans do not have an appetite, no pun intended, with the Italian dinner for more stimulus spending, because they're saying they're concerned about debt and inflation since it's currently at a 40-year high. Now, Democrats, they could pass it entirely on their own because right now they fully control Congress. Democrats are in control of the House, the presidency, and they have that split Senate, 50-50, but Vice President Kamala Harris is the tie-breaking vote, meaning that all of Congress currently is controlled by Democrats. So if unified, they technically could pass through legislation if they like. However, they are not unified, and that is because moderate centrist Democrats in the Senate, like Senator Joe Manchin, are saying they don't necessarily have the appetite either for passing more stimulus and potentially adding to debt and inflation. Now, they're saying that all the stimulus packages have caused the current inflation, but Democrats are saying no, that's just a small part of it. It's a combination of things, and we need more provisions. We need to pass it. So apparently, in an effort to get him on board, well, there's late night dinners happening. Now, in addition to that, take a look at this, you guys. Just the past couple days, Pelosi says Democrats might take another pass at Build Back Better. And we're hearing that these talks, they're happening right now. So it is very likely we're going to be hearing about stimulus packages. We're already hearing about stimulus checks. And we're going to be seeing what evolves here as it looks like stimulus is flipping back to the forefront and to the attention of Congress. So you guys, I'm going to dive right in, get you caught up on the latest as to what's unfolding. Also, keep an eye out on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance, more content coming your way. And also, we currently have a new flip project. I'll keep you up to date for those of you that are interested in flipping houses. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, if you could just smash that like button for me, just takes a second, really helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you might have. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest with stimulus flipping back to the forefront of discussions in Congress. All right, so link in the description below to this article that came out that's giving us more confirmation about the return of stimulus to the forefront of Congress's eyes. Now, we had already heard this vocalized by the president. He had mentioned this in his State of the Union address. We've already heard that Senator Joe Manchin has said that he is on board for more negotiations, and he's actually making an effort to rewrite the bill himself, a revamped, revised Build Back Better bill. An additional confirmation, take a look, you guys. Nancy Pelosi says Democrats, they're going to be taking another shot to pass Build Back Better. Now, the article says, while touting President Joe Biden's $550 billion infrastructure bill in Brooklyn Bridge Park this morning, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that Congress may take a second shot at passing a separate social spending bill that died in the U.S. Senate last year through the budget reconciliation process. When we did the infrastructure bill, President Biden said, "I want to do everything that we can in a bipartisan way, but I cannot confine my vision for America to what we can just do in that bill," Pelosi said. "And that is why we have to get this done in the form of a reconciliation bill, which just requires 51 votes in Congress." So they're saying they want to pass more stimulus spending, and they want to do it through the process of reconciliation, which requires a unified Democratic Party. Now, in addition to that, I let you guys know that we've heard progressives have said, listen, if we can't get Joe Manchin on board, President Joe Biden, it's time to step up and do executive actions and orders and make it happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But reading on, it says, now Pelosi was joined by 3 members of the New York congressional delegation, U.S. Senators Representative Hakeem Jeffries, Nadia Velasquez, and also Yvette Clarke, as well as representatives of unions like the New York City District Council of Carpenters. Now, the social spending bill, known as the Build Back Better Act, was originally supposed to be passed in tandem with the hard infrastructure bill. As you will recall, they wanted to pass infrastructure and the stimulus together, but at the last minute, they were broken apart, which Biden signed into law late last year. The hard infrastructure package provides much needed funds for things like repairing roads and bridges, improving public transition, and building out of the country's broader framework. Whereas Build Back Better would have made major investments in child and elder care, combating climate change, and expanding affordable health care by lowering prescription drug prices. Now, the originally $1.9 trillion Build Back Better plan passed the House last fall, but never made it past the U.S. Senate, where the Democratic leadership was unable to bring centrist Senator Joe Manchin on board, who we're going to be discussing more about here shortly, and Italian dinners in the 50-50 Senate. The support of Manchin and another centrist, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, is critical to the passage of any social spending bills. It's still not clear how any social spending package in the mold of Build Back Better would be able to pass the U.S. Senate this year, considering Manchin said that he wouldn't support the legislation without significant changes. Still, Biden is now promoting a revamped version of the Build Back Better that centers on lowering prescription drug prices and other forms of cost-cutting aimed at lowering inflation. So you guys, we're hearing that Joe Manchin's saying he's on board. They're working away on revamping and revising. And also, we're hearing about additional late-night evening Italian dinners to try to get him on board. Let's take a look. So, link in the description below to this Axios article that came out, and it reads, a private Italian dinner between Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin did little to repair their differences on how Democrats can retain power in the Senate. So also talking about retaining that power. As I mentioned, Democrats control all of Congress, and this is a midterm election year. So what we're hearing is historically, if Democrats, let's say, do not get things passed through, they don't get things done, that voters will see that. And then when the midterm elections come up, they're likely going to be voting for the other party to start taking control and take power back. And that would be Republicans. So these 2 Democrats, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin, who's a moderate centrist Democrat, they've met and said, listen, let's discuss passing something through, because if we do not, well, it's very likely we're going to be losing our control of Congress. Now, it says why it matters. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's failure last month to convince Manchin to be more of a team player has implications for the leader's ability to advance President Biden's agenda, not to mention the fate of his nominees, as Fed hopeful Sarah Bloom Raskin discovered this week, as Joe Manchin said he would not support her vote. The 2 longtime friends, who use frank and colorful language with each other, successfully reset their strained relationship, according to Axios. But their political dynamic remained unchanged. Manchin is unwilling to forsake voters' concerns at home in West Virginia for the good of the National Democratic Party. Inside the Trattoria Alberto, an Italian institution in a once unfashionable part of Capitol Hill, Schumer tried to persuade Manchin to stop slowing down their party's agenda in the Senate. Manchin responded by telling Schumer he needed to be more persuasive, and that the burden was on the majority leader to allow the process to play out and bring the entire Democratic caucus along. So Joe Manchin flipping the script and saying, listen, it's actually the majority leader. It's your responsibility to be more persuasive to get me on board. So, man, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. Senator Manchin and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer held a friendly and productive conversation over a delicious dinner of spaghetti and meatballs, according to the communications director. A spokesman for Schumer declined to comment. Now, while Schumer is his party's Senate Majority Leader and controls the floor schedule in a 50-50 Senate, an unbowed Manchin has exerted more power at times, it seems, and that is because the way that the Senate is currently structured, in 50-50, that gives a lot of power for a reconciliation process for senators. So you guys, sounding like they're trying to make efforts, but we're going to see as he's letting them know you're going to need to be more persuasive. Now, keep in mind the fact that the Build Back Better bill originally, progressives wanted this to be 10 trillion, 6 trillion, 7 trillion of spending. They wanted monthly reoccurring stimulus checks on a federal level to everyone in the nation. They wanted child tax credits. They wanted unemployment extensions, a PUA, PEUC, the $300 per week boost. They wanted all of these provisions, and it had to get taken out because they couldn't get Joe Manchin on board. They proposed a $3.5 trillion package. Then it's getting cut down further and further, and now it's getting reduced even more. And he's saying, you're going to need to be more persuasive to get me on board. So you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But as I mentioned, this is back to the forefront. They are making efforts, and it's very likely here we're going to be hearing a whole lot more about this very soon. So you guys, that is the latest, and as more information rolls out, as I said, I'll be sure to keep you up to date because this is coming up a lot. Stimulus checks, stimulus packages, and I think very soon we're going to be hearing more and more about what's going to be passing. And like I said, as we get closer to those elections, I think this is going to start ramping up as Democrats are going to want to start reminding voters, hey, we're going to help you out. Keep us in power and vote for us in the elections. Now, I know a lot of people have said it's too little too late, and knowing that that is their motivation doesn't make them want to vote them in power. But you guys, either way, I will keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed St. Patty's Day, and have a spaghetti dinner. Catch you next time. God bless. Take care. This is Steve.